Okay, hello and welcome to another video from Canny Drifters making money drifting. This time I want to do an introduction to Betfair Trading. As you might know, I've been dabbling with match betting for the last 3 or so months. Made quite a bit of money out of it. Obviously, some people might think it's a lot of money, some people might not, but if you look at my previous videos I go through all that. I think it is quite a bit of money myself personally, based on how much I need to live on per month, you know, my personal circumstances, and weigh it up against the time I'm putting into it. Like I said in the past, I've spent about an hour or 2 a day most days of the week doing it for about 400 plus profit per month. But while I've been doing it, that's got me on to thinking about Betfair Trading, and the pros and cons, and whether it's going to be a good fit for me or not. So what I'm doing this introduction video today to introduce you to Betfair Trading, what it is, the pros and the cons, and a little comparison against match betting, how it differs. So if we just get moved on, so just a quick introduction as to what is Betfair Trading. So basically, if you've done any match betting, or even if you haven't, the way it works is you place a back bet and a lay bet, and you get the odds as close together as you can. So you're either minimising your qualifying loss, or you're maximising your free bet gain. And if you're used to doing match betting, you know that and this is just a screen from Betfair Exchange, which is one of the exchange accounts you've probably set up to do match betting. I think on the Odds Monkey and the Profit Accumulator tutorials, it's probably the first exchange account you set up. Certainly on Odds Monkey, because I've just went through that tutorial recently. So once you're into your Betfair account, you can see that you've got these. So we'll just take this as an example, Liverpool in a game that's tonight. You can see if we bet on Liverpool to win the game, we get 1.62 odds. If we bet against them winning, we get 1.63. So you see that the lay odds is normally slightly higher by 1 or 2 ticks than the back odds. So the idea with match betting is you try and put a back bet on higher than the lay bet, or as close together as possible in any case. If you do get a lay bet on at the same price as a back bet, then you'll get a 0 profit and a 0 loss. If your back bet's higher than your lay bet, then you come out with a small profit, and vice versa. If your lay bet's slightly higher than your back bet, you'll come out with a slight loss. And the way Betfair Trading works is if you put a lay bet on, say, the draw at 4.6, and it goes higher or lower during the game, you'll either win or lose money. So you can get in and get out of a lay bet or a back bet even at different prices, and you either make or lose money. So the way you look at trying to do Betfair Trading, it's, if you think of it similar to the stock market, you're trying to buy the stock at a price lower than what you sell it at. So if you buy stock for £1 and you sell it at £1.50, then you will make money. Similarly, if you buy a stock at £1 and it goes lower, then you will lose money if you sold it at a lower price than the £1 that you bought it for. So that's the principle behind Betfair Trading. Think of it more of a stock trading. Obviously similar to stock trading as well, you can lose money or you can win money, so that there's a risk there. You could see it as more of a gamble than actual match betting. Match betting, you know the result before you start, whereas this is actually more gamble, but I think the rewards are higher at the same time. So moving on to the pros and cons of Betfair Exchange Trading. I just want to go through each of these in turn and just have a little bit of a mention of each one that I've listed here as a pro and a con. So one of the pros is you don't need bookies accounts to do this. Basically all you need is your Betfair Exchange account. So that has multiple sort of pros in itself. You don't need to switch in and out of bookies accounts. You don't need to, I know you don't normally need to remember passwords, but sometimes you do. There's no sort of flicking in and out of umpteen bookies accounts, which if you do match betting you will know that you can have, you know, you'll have an account for each bookie and you go in and go out. So it's just not required. Everything's done from the one trading place, which is Betfair. So that leads on the next point. You've got one trading platform, which is your Betfair Exchange trading account. No need for all the multiple bookies accounts, so everything's just self-contained in the one place. Which leads on the next one. Really, there's a very low risk of being gubbed by your Betfair Exchange account. They're not bothered what you're doing, whereas the bookies are. If the bookies perceive you to be taking too much value off them, then they'll block your account and gub you, which means you'll no longer be able to benefit from their special offers. You might be stake restricted in that you can only put, say, small bets on of less than £1, which means once you're doing that and you're restricted to bets of less than £1, it's impossible to make money on match betting, because your profit would be so low on maximum bets of £1. You need at least 10 quid bets going in to make like a few quid here and there. Whereas the Betfair Exchange, they work on a commission principle, so every bet you put on and any sort of bet or laid bet, and anybody for that matter using the Betfair Exchange will be charged a commission by Betfair. That's where they make their money, whereas the bookies don't do that. So they're more sort of precious about their pursuit, you know, the value they're making. You've got a number of you've got a sort of limitless range of flexibility on your strategies. There's so many strategies and so many markets, and it's a case of building up those strategies as part of your portfolio to use on the Betfair Exchange. With match betting, you kind of have your sign-ups and your reload offers, and they're limited by what the bookies give you. You'll obviously be given certain sign-up offers by a bookie, and then once you've done that sign-up offer, you're then restricted by what reload offers they give you after that as an existing customer. Some bookies are notoriously bad for more or less giving you nothing after that. Some bookies are a lot better. The popular ones will give you more reload offers, but they're still limited by sort of what they do give you. Whereas on Betfair Exchange, it's up to you what strategy you want to use. However, there is a con to that, which we'll go into shortly. And like I've already mentioned, there's limitless strategies. There's umpteen sort of sports and markets. Like a lot of people do horse racing, a lot of people do the football, and I've even seen on my research that tennis is a really good one for Betfair Trading. There's so many possibilities on the tennis side of things, because obviously you don't have ties in tennis. It's just one of two players win, and you can actually get in and out of trades down to the level of every point. So if like a tennis player's serving, for example, they're obviously favourites to win that game. If the for example, if the non-server goes up by a point or two to 15 or 30 love, you can get in on you can get in at a higher price on the server and things like that. There's all these different limitless strategies. What I'm going to do in future videos is go through some, and I'm going to try and work them out myself based on research, and I'm actually going to trial them as well. So obviously if you want to see all that, please subscribe to the channel and you'll see future videos coming out. I've actually done some research on my first strategy already, and I'm putting a spreadsheet together on that and how much I've made out of that, and I'm going to put that up as one of the next videos. And also, because it's classed as betting and gambling, which is like the same as match betting, it's tax-free income. You don't need to declare any of this, which is you know, why wouldn't you do that? Cons, the biggest con I can see with Betfair Trading, it's just like trading on a stock exchange. It's your money is at risk. If you put £10 in on a gamble, it is a gamble. If you put £10 in, say on a lay bet, for example, and that lay price never goes up, you can only exit the trade with a lower amount than what you actually put in. So for example, if you put a lay bet of £10 in at 2 to 1, 2.0, well 2 to 1 fractional 3.0. If you put some money in on a lay bet at 3.0, for example, and that lay price only ever goes one way down, then you will never get your money back that you put in at 3.0. You'll only get less back. So your money is at risk, and that's one main difference, and that is the biggest con compared to match betting, where your money isn't at risk. You always know how much you're going to lose on qualifying losses, and you know how much you're going to gain on your free bets. So that's one thing you do need to bear in mind. But I think on the flip side of that, the potential for winning money is a lot, for making money, sorry, is a lot higher than it is with match betting. So in a nutshell, what we're saying there, it's still gambling, albeit a bit more calculated than gambling, because what you do is you apply your strategies to the trades that you're making to lower the risk of it being an all-out gamble. So where it is a bigger risk than match betting, you can minimise the risk by applying your strategies. So, which does mean there's more ownership and responsibility and onus on yourself for finding strategies, particularly successful strategies. And that's what that's it in a nutshell. You have to spend more time finding the strategies and working on them and making sure they're a good strategy where you do minimize your losses and you're kind of maximizing your gains all the time with the said strategies. So the next steps is, I think, for a conclusion, just a couple of conclusion points. It is a good extension alternative. I'd probably treat it as an extension initially to match betting. Do match betting first, take it as far as you can. Once you obviously on match betting, once your account's starting to get gubbed, I mean, I've lost big ones like William Hill, Boyle Sports, Paddy Power, so I can't do any of the offers anymore, and that's even after just 3 months. So you could also treat it as an alternative if you didn't want to go down the match betting route. Just start with Betfair Trading. There's a lot to be said for it. So, but you do need to get into the strategies. So then, just bear in mind your money is at risk. Can't emphasise that enough. You know, you could put £100 on a lay bet on the exchange and lose the whole lot. In fact, if you put a £100 lay bet, you could actually lose more depending on the odds. You might need 400 quid in there if it was 4.0 odds you got. If you put £100 in at 4.0, you could lose the whole lot if that goes pear-shaped. But the idea is you should be minimising that risk by exiting or getting out of the trade when the price is going down. So you shouldn't lose the whole lot, but if you let it ride, there's a potential to lose a whole lot, which I'll get into in the next video. So the next steps is if you're interested in Betfair Trading from a beginner's point of view, and one other disclaimer here is I'm actually just starting to learn this myself. So if you want to follow me as a beginner like yourselves, then please like this video and subscribe, because then you'll get a notification every time a new video comes out, and also it'll mean more people like yourselves get to watch my video, because it'll appear on the search results on YouTube. once you do think about looking at Betfair Trading, another key aspect is to work on strategies. The more strategies you can get together that are going to work, the better. Obviously you need to walk before you can run, or even in my instance I'm going to crawl before I can walk. And I'm looking at one strategy at a time, and I'm going to work out whether that's suitable, acceptable, and mainly successful. Obviously if it's not successful, it needs to be ditched or at least revised so it does become successful. The more successful the better. Even if it starts successful, then you tweak it and revise it a bit more and look to see how I can make it work better. And we'll go into that in the next video. I've got one strategy already lined up, and I'll mention what the name is in the next video. In fact, it'll be the title of the video, so keep an eye out for that in the next day or two. Well, I'll be taking you through my very first strategy that I'm working on. It's actually Tuesday the 8th of March today, 2022. And actually started the strategy in the weekend, and I'm going to go through the exact results of the trades I made. I was going to say bets there. I've got to get in the terminology. They're not bets, they're actual trades. You're trading money in and out of the Betfair exchange rather than placing bets. So the word is trade strategies. And you need to build a strategy armory. So my ultimate aim is to have a few different ones. You know, the more the merrier, really, because then there's the more opportunities to get in and out. It's actually limitless. I've been looking at some stuff on like research, and it's amazing a lot of the trades you can actually do. There's trades where you can get in and out of horse racing markets before the race actually even starts. So you're looking at where you can make money by, you know, working out how a horse price is going to move one way or the other before the actual race kicks off. And then the next step is to automate those strategies. You can actually use software to automate them, so you can get in and out by automating it without even doing much work yourself. And that to me is one of the biggest appeals, because the more time I spend on something, the less money it's worth to me, because I'm having to spend my time working on things. I don't mind doing the research and the work on the strategies up front, and obviously that's a given, you need to do that. But the less time, once it's developed, once I've got a strategy developed and nailed, I actually want to spend as little time as possible implementing that. So for example, and I know it might not be the case initially up front, but the best case scenario, I don't want to be sat on a Saturday afternoon watching all the horse racing, watching all the football, putting bets on, you know, trading in and out of the market, putting match bets on. It all needs to be done quickly and efficiently up front without having to sit and waste time doing it, although I'm quite happy to do that to begin with. But the ultimate aim is to get these things moving. This kind of thing will never be passive income, but you know, you'll still always have to do your work on it. But don't want to have to sit 6 hours on a Saturday watching loads of live horse racing, loads of live football, although I did do it the weekend just gone, just to try and work out my first strategy. So I hope you've so keep an eye out. I was going to conclude there, but it's actually I've got another point here about future videos. Keep an eye out for future videos, and like I say, if you do subscribe to the channel, then you will get a notification about future videos. But keep an eye out, because I've got some really interesting strategies coming up for beginners. I mean, you might have seen some stuff on the internet about match betting and Betfair Trading, and it might be, you know, a lot of it's really complicated. I'm going to go at it from a complete beginner stance like myself, and we'll see how successful I am and how much money I do make on doing Betfair Trading. Okay, so I hope you've liked this video. Just like I say, like the video would be much appreciated. Please subscribe and see how we get on. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.